Thanks for joining me for this Daily Bread Bible study here for day 185, Friday, July 3rd, 2020, focusing on Proverbs 15 through 17. In Proverbs 15, we see a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And in verse number 4, a gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. So we have the same sentiment kind of repeated, that our words matter, our intentions matter greatly, and when we are righteous and when we are motivated by helping others and being a healing word, when it's genuine from us, then it will be a great benefit to the world around us. In verse 8 of Proverbs 15, we have, "The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight." So we see a little bit of this theme in Proverbs 15, focused around trying to change the ways of individuals away from wickedness into righteousness, which feels very familiar to Matthew 9:13. And this is kind of a pseudo-reference of Jesus' words that says, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." Those are actually words from Hosea 6:6, but I think the sentiment is the same, of actually loving God, keeping his ways, and correcting those who stray at the same time. So, Proverbs 15 fits that theme of loving God, being kind and gentle in our words, doing things that are very pleasing to God, and because they're genuine in our hearts, they reflect people who keep God's ways and are open to correcting those who stray at the same time. This feels very similar to the context of "I desire mercy, not sacrifice" that Jesus said there in Matthew 9, starting at verse 11. Jesus was discussing with the Pharisees, and the Pharisees said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" But when Jesus heard this, he said, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have come to call not the righteous, but sinners." So that kind of fits that theme of Proverbs, that mindset. All of this is kind of wrapped up in the same idea that when we turn to God's education, when God enlightens us, we will be able to be transformed. We will turn more towards God's ways. We will grow in ourselves. We will pursue mercy and not just making sacrifices before God. We will actually do things that are pleasing to this God of justice that we have. Proverbs 16, I selected verse 9 for us. It says, "The human mind plans the way, but the Lord directs the steps." This is very important for any type of discernment. It's important for us to make a plan, but it's also important for us to be able to let go of that plan and to remember that the Holy Spirit is actually driving us and guiding us along the way. So how that works, I just feel the experience of that, of not envisioning, even being here in Lubbock, Texas. I had no imagination of that before I was assigned. And even when I was assigned to this area of the country, I didn't know that Lubbock was a possibility. But that's how it came to be, and I've happily been here for 6 years. I've grown a lot, been frustrated a lot, but also been just filled with joy, growing family and growing a loving community. So shout out to you, Shepherd King. Thank you for all the support you've given me and my family these past 6 years. And today is taping this July 1st. So today is officially my 6-year celebration of being pastor at Shepherd King. So thanks for joining me on this journey. Anyways, Getting back to Proverbs 16, verse 18, it said, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall," which our expression in English says, "Pride comes before the fall." So this is just a very common phrase, pretty clear that we can be arrogant, and when we think too highly of ourselves, then we can be humbled because it's God who actually gives any of the prospering or success. In Proverbs 16:24, "Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body." I just love the imagery. And especially, I know my son Joel loves honey. He loves to use honey because it is sweet. He loves the sugar nature of honey. And so, may you say pleasing words. May you say kind and gracious words that are like honey that refresh the soul and the spirit. And I love you. Proverbs 17, moving on. Talking about family as well too, it says in verse 6, "Grandchildren are the crown of the aged, and the glory of children is their parents." Well, the first part is especially true. My grandparents love my kids and very much take pride in them and watching them grow, and just are grateful for them. We recently had time where they were able to spend some quality time with grandparents, and Amanda and I were able to spend some time by ourselves, taking some vacation. But it is a gift to be able to celebrate grandchildren and to have that faith passed down from generation to generation. My parents passed that faith on to me. I'm passing it on to my kids, and even more than that, the way of life, what we value, the who we are as individuals gets passed on as well. The interactions that we have make memories. They show personality and reveal that to generations to come. And through that, we get to see gratitude. So I'm very grateful for my parents. It says the glory of children is their parents. And I'm very grateful for my parents and all that they've done. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you too. Appreciate all that you've done for me, and the gifts that you've given me of love and self-worth, of knowing that I'm connected with something much larger than myself, that no matter what I do, I'm beloved, and that, to be free to try things and know that you'll support me at the end of the day, even when things don't go the way I expect. So I love y'all. Getting on to Proverbs 17:10, I'll close with this thought for today. Going back to relationships, a rebuke strikes deeper into a discerning person than 100 blows into a fool. So, yet again, I believe that corporal punishment has its places. Really, it should be used as a last resort when other forms of deterrent are not able to take a hold. But don't believe it should be the first option, but you can decide how you do that. As this proverb kind of agrees with the sentiment behind corporal punishment and all of that, the reference to the 100 blows to a fool, it's just teaching people to be discerning and to discern for themselves, what is beneficial and what is destructive. It's all about helping individuals grow and learn and be self-disciplined and make good choices which benefit, not only the individual, but the society around that we're a part of. So as we are all connected, may we make good decisions. May we follow what God is calling us in our lives to do. May you know and trust that there's a community, even digitally, that's connected with you, and that your impacts, the seeds of goodness that you sow in the world do not go unnoticed and are very much appreciated. So thanks for being you, and I look forward to another time and session with you next time.